Welcome to Azelinguistics. This channel is about all things linguistic, discussing topics in phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and sociolinguistics. So let's see what we've got today. Okay, let's focus on aspiration. So first, what is the meaning of aspiration, right? We have never defined aspiration. Aspiration is a strong burst of breath or puff of air that accompanies the pronunciation of voiceless plosives. So look, pen, the pe, the sound pe, and the sound k in cat. If you go to the chart, look, in the plosive row, other than the glottal stop, the sounds pa, ta, and k in English, which are voiceless plosives, are aspirated sometimes. If you're a Spanish speaker, if you're a Portuguese speaker, French speaker, and you're learning English, probably you're not aspirating these three plosives in English where you should be. So what I'm going to tell you in this video is where you need to aspirate this. Okay, in your language, you never do. In English, you should aspirate these sounds. So the verb is aspirate. You need to know when to aspirate these three sounds in your pronunciation of English, because even when you go to a dictionary, let's go to a dictionary now. If you go to any dictionary, pen, you don't see any aspiration because aspiration is narrow transcription. If you see the word cat, if you look it up, you wouldn't see aspiration here because the dictionaries, like a general dictionary of a language, which you can refer to even for language learning purposes, doesn't provide you with narrow transcription details. So if you're a speaker of those languages, if you're Spanish speakers learning English, this dictionary does not tell you how to pronounce cat like a native speaker. This dictionary doesn't help you in that level of detail. That's what you get by learning a few rules in phonology of English or whatever language you're learning. You have to learn these basic phonological rules and apply them consistently to sound like a native speaker. Okay, so if you look up cat, you don't see the aspiration. So how do you pronounce cat as a Spanish speaker? Cat. By knowing this phonological rule, the phonological rule is that these sounds in English can be aspirated, okay? So guys, you want to know when to aspirate these three sounds in English. I'm going to tell you when. So first of all, let me give you more examples. Okay, what about a word that actually begins with the other sound, the sound that we haven't covered so far? The word tar is also aspirated. T. T in tar is aspirated. But look, T in cat is not aspirated. Why? So I'm going to give you another word to show you that if you don't know the rule, you can really be confused. Like you wouldn't know when to aspirate and when not to aspirate. So the word park contains a k, but the p is aspirated, but the k is not aspirated, right? First of all, there's aspirated p. K is not aspirated, which is confusing, you might ask. So why do you aspirate k in cat, but not in park? Why do you aspirate t in tar, but not in cat? So I'm going to answer that question, right? But for now, you need to know that the symbol for R, the English R, it's different from the Spanish R. So the Spanish R is this one, trill. Ra, parque. This is the Spanish R, but the English R is down here. It's an approximate. So that's R. So for now, let's go back to the question. When do we aspirate p, k, t, and when do we not aspirate them in English? Okay. You can see more examples of words, so maybe you can understand what the rule is by yourself. So again, team is t is aspirated, in t, tar is aspirated, but in cat, it's not aspirated. That's weird, right? That's interesting. Well, can we say in the beginning of the word these sounds are aspirated? Let's make a rule. So pataka are aspirated more than initially. Okay. I'm gonna give you another example. The word ski has the sound k, but the k in ski in English is not aspirated. But it occurs word initially. Look, it is the beginning of the word because s, k together are the beginning. So you would say the word ski, the k is not aspirated, but so this rule this is not enough. So by knowing this, by knowing how ski is pronounced, you have to modify your rule. So if you say syllable initially, like in the sense that it shouldn't be preceded by s, it should be the only sound in the beginning. So if it was like the word key, which has the same sound, look, that's aspirated, key, because it's not preceded by s, right? So it should be syllable initial. So now let me modify this rule and make it more simple. So let's, instead of these, just say voiceless plosives. Voiceless plosives are aspirated syllable initially. Now I'm going to make this more technical. So they become plus aspirated whenever they occur syllable initially. Okay, this is what this means. So let me give you another example. Okay, for example, the word atomic. Look, this symbol, let's go back to the chart and look. This you see here, this dot, syllable break. This shows the boundaries of syllables. Atomic, look. In the word atomic, the t is not word initial, but is syllable initial. Okay? And it is aspirated, atomic, atomic. So it should be the only sound, of course, because here in stick, it's not aspirated. Look, because it's not initial. The syllable initial sound is sa. It's not t. But if it was tick, look, if it was tick, which is actually a word in English, then you had to aspirate it. Now, I'm going to give you another example. Again, of course, we want our rule to be realistic, right? For example, the word split, the t is syllable final, and it's not aspirated, okay? So what I'm doing is actually I'm showing you real examples. We will go back to the rule to see if the rule is still correct or not. If not, we have to make our rule correct. Look, the word happy, the p in p is not aspirated, although it's syllable initial, okay? But what you see here is that atomic, look, let's compare these two, because the similarity between the two is that they are not word initial, but they're syllable initial, right? But here, if you look at this, the difference is this is a stress, but this is not a stress, okay? The syllable should be stressed, okay? Let's write it this way. So in a syllable, that is a stress. So now the rule holds. Look, so although it is syllable initial, but it's not a stress, therefore it doesn't apply, right? Okay. So the word khaki, which is a color, a military color, or khaki. So the first one would be stressed, the second one wouldn't. So here it's an interesting example because you have two k's and both are syllable initial. Khaki. The first one is aspirated, the second one is not, because the first one is stressed, okay? So what you can do by applying the knowledge provided in this video, applying to the broad transcription, you can imagine the narrow transcription in your head and choose to aspirate it. Thanks for your time and attention, and see you again soon.